Hey everybody, I'm back. This time I'm going to look at Age of Wonders 4. This has been a big one on my radar for a very long time, and it just launched like half an hour ago. Actually, I was going to... Let me adjust my recording area here just a little bit to get this white title bar out of the way. Okay, close enough. I was going to play some multiplayer, but multiplayer lobby seems to be down. I think this is a bigger launch than they were expecting, which is great news, because this is a very cool game, and I want this to do gangbusters for them. For the simple, selfish reason is, the better this game does, the more content we're going to be getting for it down the road. There's already an expansion pass that I've already picked up. Full disclaimer, I bought this myself. This is not a sponsored stream or anything. It's just my own opinions on the game, having watched several streams leading to this point. I did play it briefly while I was making a custom faction just to see if the lobbies would stabilize in the first half hour or so, but not so far. And then I realized I probably should record something, so here we are. Alright, so instead of recording something, or playing on my own, I'm going to record something I don't normally do in a game like Age of Wonders 4. What is Age of Wonders 4? Let me start with that. Probably if you're on my channel watching this video, you probably know what this is, but just in case, briefly, it's a 4X strategy game, which means it's an empire building game with a big world map. You build up a civilization, you clear out and conquer dungeons and treasure sites with your units and heroes who level up while you're facing off with other empires who are doing the same. Diplomacy, waging battles, conquering them, science victories, sort of like a fantasy civilization type of game, with notes and hints of things like Stellaris, Heroes of Might and Magic, some light RPG elements, stuff like that. Big, very cool game. Probably going to be best in class, I have a suspicion, for years to come, now that it's finally here. So, without further ado, let me pop in here quick to a new game.
Choose your destination.
Now, the first thing about this game, and I'm going to go quick over this because some of you may have seen this before and others don't necessarily want to sit through 15 minutes of customizing a realm, customizing a faction, so I'll pop through as quick as I can while describing as cleanly as I'm able. So we have custom realms, or you can create or pick an existing realm. So there's story realms. This is kind of the campaign. I think there's 5 of these, and they'll unlock as you complete them. I do want to play this, so I'm probably going to pick this first, which means there'll be a little bit of a cutscene. And most of them, of course, won't have a cutscene like that, just story realms will. But there are a bunch of different things you can pick, and they each have their own modifiers to change things up. And you can unlock more of these pre-built ones, but you can also customize and build your own. Like, I built one that's just a very simple, has continents on it, and it's just going to basically have anything on it, potentially. But you can create your own. You can customize the realm. You can add continents, coast, have a big divide running down the center of it, lava lakes, whatever you want to do, desert realms, endless realms, realms that randomly generate themselves during the game, scorched climates. You can have inhabitants like lingering creators or magic origins, megafauna. Like, there's a ton of stuff you can do in this category. Then you've got the presence trait. Pretender Kings is the default, but you can unlock more of most of these traits, I think, by playing the game. Then you've got miscellaneous traits. You can have up to 4 of these. Wonders Past. You can have more ancient wonders to explore, which if you want to hover over anything, you can hover over and get these really nice nested tooltips, which is very handy for learning how to play the game. Okay, so we're not going to do any of that stuff, although there are quite a few of these to pick, by the way, and they all seem very interesting, very cool. Instead, we're going to just pick...
Choose your destination.
Story Realm. Hit select. Alright, now in Story Realm, we have got Crystalline Abundance, lots of mana nodes. We've got Uninhabitable Underground, that's probably to keep things simple and moving quickly. And we have Ancient Runes. There are runes of the Ancient Elven Court to be found in this realm. They can be rebuilt to found new cities. That's awesome, I didn't know about that. Okay, so next, here we go.
Starts here.
You've got your hands on pre-built factions, which includes if they're a champion, if they're a wizard king, I think for this story realm, you can only pick champion. But basically, champions are good for the people. They start with high bonus relations with neutral cities. Your non-hero units gain XP faster. Individual units will rank up quicker, and your cities are more potent with higher gold and stability. Wizard Kings, by comparison, instead improve your mana income, and they can cast more spells more easily. So, basically, you can also pick your form, like if you're a cat person or a human or a orc or a goblin or a little rat monster, and then you can also pick that form's race traits. You can pick traits. You can pick 2 traits, which is awesome. And I could show this off a little bit. I mean, I'm probably going to make a custom faction anyway for this. So you can pick human. You can pick quite a few, and there'll be more coming in DLC, of course, too. I think they've talked about this first upcoming DLC here in a few months, maybe even 3 or 4 months, maybe. We'll have like reptilian and a lot of dragon stuff, so there'll be some more forms coming. Elves are cool. I could pick elves. I don't normally know if I'd pick. I like that visual effect when you pick a new thing. I don't know if I normally would pick like toads or rats. Doors are cool though. I think I just pick human. We'll keep it simple. Humans start with fast recuperation, so they regenerate quicker on the world map, which is actually really handy. It means you're more ready for the next fight quicker, so you can explore the map faster. Adaptable is bonus experience, which actually seems really cool when combined with the champion's inherent trait of giving bonus XP. So we'll keep that one, but I do kind of want to play around with mounts. Like, what if we gave spider mounts to our guys? That'd be awesome. Or unicorn mounts. Like, that'd be pretty amazing. Unicorn mounts seem good. Extra hit points. They can phase. Let's do that. That seems cool. Okay. And then you get to pick
origin culture.
A culture. A culture is kind of like your class. Are you playing as a dark class that has all these modifiers and changes to the gameplay? Are you playing mystic? Every class culture has their own roster of units that you can build up to tier 3 units. Industrious, high. I really like high. I might pick these guys. Actually, I'm going to pick these guys. They seem really cool. They have a really cool thing. Their thing is that they have units that are awakened by a magical ability called Awaken a Unit. And when they're awakened, they do bonus damage. And some of them have these cool dormant traits that only activate when they're awakened. Like the archers can, I think their arrow strikes become seeking arrows or something like that. That's pretty neat. All right, let's pick them. Now, as you pick things, your affinity with certain alignment types, not alignment, that's like evil and good, affinity types really, are going to go up as you pick stuff. So I'm picking order, or I picked high. And when I pick high, it gives me 2 points of order affinity.
Culture? What
does that mean? As you get these points, they build up in your empire, and they sort of push your empire in different directions along an empire skill tree, unlocking various order or mystic or shadow or chaos. Like there's 6 of them, different like traits you can unlock for your empire. Sort of like class specialization in Dungeons and Dragons. But I don't know if I want to go completely hard and have like all order. It's kind of nice to multi-class, so to speak, with different affinities. And there's a lot of powerful things we can do. So maybe what we'll do is we could be like Imperialists, the Throne City, and cities that share a border with your Throne City. I have extra city stability, which is kind of like morale. Or extra gold. And we get an extra population in our starting city. That seems good. Seems really good. Devotees of Good also gets more stability and more Imperium per level of good. That's really strong, actually. Imperium's hard to get, and you use it for diplomacy and purchasing empire skills. And alignments and polearm units are tougher, and you start with an extra support or polearm units. Okay. Chosen Uniters are good at diplomacy. They want to unite people. They get diplomatic focus. What's that do? Gain an extra Whispering Stone. That's how you can become friends with neutral cities. I was wrong. I kind of might. I kind of want like a couple of these. Maybe we'll dip into another faction down the road, or another affinity down the road, and just kind of go hard in on order to start with. So I'm gonna go Imperials and Devotees of Good. I think could have an extra shield unit, or actually Whispering Stone sounds cool though. I like the Empire, the improved Empire or Imperium. Let's get this and try and be good.
Choose
Okay.
your first tome.
Now the last thing you do is you pick a tome. There's 6 affinities, like I said, and each of those affinities has tomes of magic associated with them. So here is Tome of Faith, which is a Tier 1 Order tome, and Tome of Zeal and Tome of Souls. If I pick Tome of Souls, I will gain Shadow affinity. Same if I pick Tome of Chiromancy, because these are Shadow affinity tomes that give you +2 by picking it. So I probably won't pick that because I kind of want to pick Tome of Faith, probably Tome of Zeal. So every tome gives you something, affinity of course, but also this, you can tell from this little icon here, this is a city, an improvement you can build in your cities, the Circle of Zealotry. This one here, Tome of Faith, would give me an Abbey, which is extra knowledge, which is used for researching new spells and abilities, and also would allow my heroes to learn Mending Touch. It's an adept hero skill that they could learn potentially. They don't start with it, but they could learn it. Condemn would... This is a different kind of gameplay. Tome of Zeal would give me a gameplay where I want to summon things like Zealots, I want to condemn enemies, and I want to use that condemn status to give bonuses to my Zealous army. Tome of Faith, by comparison, is more about healing and gaining alliance with free cities, having more powerful support units, healing my army, and I think we're going to pick this because just skimming through this quickly, it looks cool.
What is your ruler's
And of course, I have to pick a champion, so that's what I'll do.
Reveal yourself.
Now you get to customize your guy. Now, I could just randomize her outfit a couple times. I actually find most of these guys look awesome. Like, this looks awesome. What did we pick? Did we pick elves? Boy, I forgot what we... No, we went humans, didn't we? Yeah, we must have, because I think champions have to be the... champions, I think, have to be the faction, or the race of the faction that they're championing. I kind of want that cool sword guy again. You know how we do that? It's because the very first pose keeps your gear, and I had sword and shield looks like what I started with, but you can actually start with something else, like a sword and shield ruler high, the high culture. Starts with a scimitar and a wooden shield and a mount, which would be a unicorn, and vigor. And honestly, I can't really think of a better way to start the game than that. Oh, maybe a lance, though. That would make her a shock unit, I think. Extra damage in a lance. What's the lance do? Charging strike. Yeah, it gains 20% per hex traveled, and then cancels defense mode. So if you have an enemy that like plants their shield and sits there waiting for enemies to come at them and tank, this guy would charge in and smack them and take them out of that mode entirely and just do a ton of damage. Yeah, let's do a lance. That'd be fun. Unicorns on a lance. She looks awesome. Let's try other people though. That guy looks cool too. Sorry, I'm just kind of enjoying. These guys look all really cool. This guy looks awesome. Okay, we're going to pick him. I want that pose that has that lance. Actually, I'm not sure that's a good idea, because I wonder what will happen if I change my weapon. I mean, you can equip new weapons. What if I find a cool weapon I want? We'll go with it. Doesn't matter. Alright, that's good. Let's go with this guy.
Your journey
Oscar Court
begins.
Singer. Imperialistic Humans. Honestly, that sounds great. Okay, let's do it. Here's the cutscene. I'll be quiet for this. I can want to see it myself.
It was the time when the raw forces of magic returned to Athla. The seal that had protected the world was shattered. The cosmic currents, thereby unleashed, shaped the land, changing what was, whilst returning what once may have been. In the wake of this new genesis, the great empires of the Third Age fell into decline, bringing on an era of re-exploration and expansion. Alas, the time for peaceful discovery was brief. For the ancient wizards of the Second Age broke free from their eldritch prisons in the depths of the astral sea. Their strength regained, they set out to rule over the surviving peoples as God Kings, or Godir. There was little divine about them. Yaka, Nimue, Carissa, a pantheon of pretender gods. They were scarred, corrupted, haunted by millennia of torment, and ready to unleash their newfound powers against whoever dared stand in their way. Yet the Wizard Kings were not unchallenged. Mortal champions rose to the defense of their people, rebuilding their realms and learning to channel the currents of magic. This is the story of one such champion. While traveling through the Valley of Wonders in search of a new home, tragedy befell his tribe, its elder slain by a magical being. After inheriting both the elder's throne and his powerful tome of magic, the young champion had to rise up and protect his people from the dangers that awaited.
All right, neat. So that's probably why I had to pick a champion, I suppose. Okay, so it looks like we're starting off here on this little coastal city. Oscar Courtsinger starts with the Tome of Faith. They give you this little summary at the beginning of each of your games. Unicorn mounts, adaptable, high culture, imperialist, devotees of good. All right, and we start with 2 random spells / abilities, whatever, from our tome. We have Awaken Inner Radiance, which friendly units in a 1 hex radius becomes awakened for 3 turns, which awaken means bonus spirit damage and activating dormant traits. I'll explain that in a second, although I'm not exactly an expert. If they're already awakened, they gain strengthened instead, which gives plus 10% damage per stack, which is very cool. Okay, Wrath of the Faithful. Target enemy sustains 10 spirit damage, plus 5 spirit damage for each friendly faithful unit in battle, up to 8. Wow. Okay, so faithful, huh? A new dawn. Oh, of course, it's a story realm. We're going to begin with a quest, like, immediately. We have to defeat 3 units and build a farm. Long have the imperialistic humans, that's us, wandered Athla, that's the world we're on, as exiles. O Lord Diviner Oscar, that's me. By leading them to this valley, you have returned them to their hope. The proud city of Pinnacle, that must be the name of my starting city, you can rename them. And by the way, when you rename stuff, events will reference your name. All these underline words, I love this about this game. They had a developer diary about this. The text system in this game pulls from the world and the realm you're randomly generated for the game you're in. So you might see the same quest a couple different times while playing a few games, but it's going to using the anything that's got a random variable like an underline word. It pulls from the world you're playing in. I thought that was a really neat touch. All this stuff, all these quests can be very specific to the situation, rather than being a generic, go hunt these guys down because I asked you to. Instead, they can actually say, hey, you, specifically, in this city that I'm from, that you've met earlier, do this thing for me, that sort of thing. Alright, to expand your domain, hunt down these creatures in your pinnacle and grow the population to place your first farm. I will get a mystery bonus as well as some city stability. Let the journey of us imperialistic humans begin. Obviously, you could pick whatever race and faction and culture you wanted to, so nice that they kind of throw these in so the campaigns can even be replayable. Okay, so I started with 7 units. I have an army here with a little banner over him that shows 6. It looks like we are red and green, so that's what our border colors are, our little flag there. I didn't even think to change the flag, but you can. I just didn't do it. That flag looks cool. It doesn't completely mesh with us, but that's all right. Okay, so if you right-click on a guy here, I don't know how this is. We'll play in a controller, but oh my god, that looks so good. Look at that guy. He looks awesome. I got my unicorn mount. I got my stats. Let's just go through the interface real quick, because for some of you playing, this might be the first time you're seeing the game. And honestly, if you've already seen a bunch of this game, you probably have already watched enough videos that why are you watching my little video? Although welcome if you are. Okay, so at the top, starting with the top left, we got knowledge. Knowledge is used for researching. When we go to research a spell, which we had to set our beginning research, you'll get 3 options randomly out of your available spells. And every time you research 4 things, you pick a new tome, and you progress through the tiers of tomes in that way. So I got 3 of the, what was there, like 6, I think, things, and we started with 2 of them, so there's only 4 left. So there's only 1 thing not listed here this time, except there are, like, generic research options that everybody has, like scout buffs and different things. So we're not seeing any of those, and if I shuffle, we probably would, but I don't have a ton of mana. I don't want to throw it away on shuffling when we've got 3 good options here. Warding Blessing would be a very powerful skill level 2 healing buff spell, high. This is being offered to us not because it was in our tome, but because we are a high culture, so it's a high culture specific thing. Okay. Now, the other thing is it gives bolstered resistance, which is +1 resistance stacks up to 5 times. Resistance is used to reduce magic damage, basically. Okay, I could also research a chaplain, which would let me recruit it in my town. Chaplains are a support unit, which means that they have abilities like healing and different things, not so much for attacking, but they can hit with a Spirit Blast. And they have Healing Prayer, and they have Bless, which gives +2 Fortune, which I believe is a 20% critical hit chance, +2 Strengthen, 20% damage, and Bolstered Resistance. Wow, that seems really good. Jeez, just gives like a friendly unit a 20% chance to crit, 20% more damage, and 20% or two more resistance. I wonder how long. I think most of these, they don't say it here, but I feel like by default every status effect lasts 3 turns. I think is how it works. And then we have a Covenant, which I looked at briefly. I remember seeing it. It gives you bonus knowledge and mana if your city structure is very stable, and knowledge and mana is obviously quite useful. I think we're going to start with the healing spell. Now, what I forgot to look at, I guess I can always do it here. See at the bottom says cost. I'm pointing at my screen like you can see me. Cost is 0 to 240. It takes 240 knowledge to learn this. And I make 60 a turn. That's why it's going to take 4 turns. So that's how that works. Alright, so Imperium is used for a bunch of stuff. You can even use it to attract population and make your population grow faster. Having a higher population is great because every time you get a population, you can actually take a province by building 1 improvement on it. You have to pick. You can always change it later, though, if you want. But you start with whatever you pick, and then you get the bonuses from it. The reason I can pick one right now is because of Imperialist as my trait. I began the game with +1 population in my starting city. We'll figure out what we want to pick for that later. Right now I got a Whispering Stone, 1 out of 1. Of course, as we saw, there's ways to start with more than 1. And there are more ways to get more than 1 later. And I have a city cap of 1 out of 3, so we can have 2 more cities before there's any penalties. I make 100 gold a turn. Gold's used for all kinds of stuff, purchasing buildings and units primarily. Mana is used for casting spells. We didn't start with any strategic spells to cast on this strategic level. We don't have anything active, and we have 2 spells for the tactical combat portion of the game, which we'll show off here in a bit. And then I have 30 world map casting points, which is how much mana you can spend per turn. So if I had a spell that cost 60 that I could cast, like on the strategic map here, it would take 2 turns to cast it, even though I've got plenty of mana to cast it. You can only spend up to your world map casting points per turn. And here's my affinities, and then here's the encyclopedia, which you can look up any number of things. You can search for terms like spirit, damage, fortification damage, I don't know, whatever. You can look up combat things, you can look up spellcasting things. I think you can actually look for, I don't know how you find it. Oh, you can look at tomes. You can look at all the tomes in the game if you want. You can look at tomes by affinity type. Here's all the chaos tomes. All the order tomes. Goes up to tier 5 tomes, so you can look at what the end game stuff would be like. You could get a Conjure Dome of Protection. Heals allies in a 2-hex radius for 30 temporary hit points. Places a Dome of Protection over a 2-hex radius, providing everything inside with +2 defense, +2 resistance, +2 resistance. Wow, that seems amazing. Of course, it's also like a super high level ability. You can look at lore concepts, all the different like lore pieces. If you want to learn more about the world or confused about something in the story, you can actually look at all the units in the game, and this is really cool. You can look at all the units. Like here's our high culture units, right? We have some of these guys. We don't have this guy. This is a tier 3 guy. We'll have to build up to him. But we probably have this guy in our army right now. This guy right here. And you look at them, and you can change their form to see what like an elf or an orc or a dwarf version of them would look like. And you can also go here and say, well, I want to see what would happen if I were to give them steel skin or leaf skin or a frostling transformation. Or what if I were to give them flame burst weapons, or a major transformation like let's make them into angels. So you can kind of see what that would look like for your race. You can look at the wildlife in the game. You can look at all the units in the game that are summoned by tomes, all the buildings, what they all do, and finally you can look at all the equipment that is in the game. Holy shit, there's a lot of equipment in the game. Let's look at something cool like a tier 4. How about Sky Piercer? It's a shoot crossbow for 28 damage. That seems like a lot. Pierces, ignoring 5 defense. Hits in a 3-hex line. And quick stabs. Wow, that seems ridiculous. Oh, look at that. I love the art in this game. All the little items. Everything in the game has great art. Look at the cities when you go to build a building. Look at these little portraits and stuff. It's so good. Okay. That's the interface there. Here you got the spell you're researching. As you earn Imperium, you can go to the Empire Development tab, which we'll have to wait until a couple turns for me to show it to you, but that's the kind of the skills that I was talking about that you're going to earn by having various affinities. We're going to be heading very far, very deeply, and quickly down the Empire tree, which is okay, because we're going to get some really cool stuff very quickly, but it does mean if we eventually go, like, maybe dip a toe into, like, Chaos or Dark or whatever, we'll start getting some cool stuff in those trees, but much slower. Okay, diplomatic overview. We have 2 other rulers in the map, and we have never met a free city yet. And then we only know of one race, our own race. You also got quests, which of course we do have the one quest, and then there's the victory conditions that always exist. Let's see, hero overview. Here's our hero. He's level 1. We can inspect him, of course. I mean, he doesn't really have much going on. He can learn skills as he levels up, and he currently has fighting. This is what he started with, because I picked Lance. Prisons and crypts, none of that's as relevant yet, but it is a thing. There's cool resources in the world. I doubt we start near any of those, but when you do unlock them, they give you cool benefits, and if you get all of the certain type, you unlock a cool item for your units. Here's our cities, here's our armies, and then that's it. Rally of Legions is used to recruit units from your allies, like free cities that are under your control, which you don't have any of. All right, now set production. Let's do this. Let's take a look at production. We're going to build a city or a building. I kind of want to start with more food, I think, because more food grows faster population, which lets you expand and pick more provinces quickly. So a forester would be good, because a forester itself provides food and a little bit of production. Production is used to build buildings. We get 22 per turn here. Draft is used to recruit units. We get 22 draft per turn. So if we're going to build a storehouse, the reason it's going to take 6 turns is just like knowledge, because it takes 130 production to finish building. So I'll pay the 60 gold up front, but I got to wait 6 turns for my production to finally earn up to 130 to call it done. Now, and this thing goes for units. If I were to build a unit, it's the same deal. It takes, what, if I wanted to build like a, which I kind of do, wanted to build like a light seeker scout unit, it'll take 3 turns because it takes 60 draft and I make a little over 20 turns. So we'll queue that up right now. All right. Before I build this, though, you'll notice that storehouse is boosted by a forester. A boost gives you a 30% reduction in its cost if you meet the requirement. A forester is going to give us a little bit of production and give us a little bit of food, but it's also going to watch the storehouse. Oh. Unexpected. I just met somebody, Sirana Justicar, who parted ways with the imperialistic humans. Oh, that's us. Loyal to her as your tribe entered the Valley of Wonders. We speak again, Oscar Courtsinger. She says with a he says, she, Siriana. I don't know. I don't have an idea. I've never heard that name before. Says with a stern voice. Remember, we have Silrana. Is that what they call it? That's the city, I guess. Yeah. Seek no quarrel. It was magic that caused the loss of our homeland. Magic that killed the elder of our tribe. When you took up the elder's tome, you asked for doom. We keep our distance. Evading all magic will keep us safe. Give Silva Justicar one of your whispering stones and start negotiations and gradually improve their allegiance with you. This is kind of a nice way to teach you how that stuff works. We shall see what this means for the future. For now, we part. Let's begin a relationship. Okay. So here's the city. Oh, they're very close to us. Oh my gosh. Clicking left, holding the left button down and dragging around gives you a pan of the camera. It's good to know. So we'll give the Whispering Stone. Right now, here's where we are. Neutral. They kind of like us, despite what he said. We share an affinity. I mean, obviously, if we had built a faction that had chaos and, you know, that they would have liked us less. But it just so happened that they are good. They are order. I didn't know that going in. This worked out kind of awesome. They'll be our friends very quickly. We'll give them a Whispering Stone, though, because it's going to make them like us more passively, just because they have the stone. Now we're going to get to a pact of cooperation, which is right here, in 4 turns. So, excellent. Done. All right. Oh, you can rotate the camera. That's cool. What was I looking at? Oh, so now the city, it was 60, now it's 42. It'll take 4 turns instead of 6 because now we have a boosted forester. Also, I boosted my library, which is excellent. That's good to know. Foresters seem like they're a good start, but of course, all these are good, so we want them all eventually. Now you can queue up more things. I don't think I like that. Not for the early game. Maybe in the late game, if you got a city you just built and you don't want to deal with coming back to it every like 3 turns, you can queue up a whole bunch of stuff and then forget about it. Although you can also somehow, I don't know how. Oh, right here it is. You can actually assign a governor, which we've done. There's already a governor here. It's our main character. You can also change the city name, and you can actually automate the city. We could automate this. If you don't want to deal with having to build your cities up, you can actually have the AI just sort of do it for you, if you want. Here's the provinces. We got 1 forester right here. Structure is built as a palisade walls, ballasted towers. It's a throne city. Okay, what was I looking at though? That's it. That's all I want to do. All right. Okay. So the last thing we got to do this turn is to give orders to our units. So we have a scout unit here. Scout units are cool, especially when they're mounted on unicorns. They can shoot a bow. They're not good at that. They're not for combat. They are specifically in this game. Scouts are neutered for combat because of scout spam and other games like it. So we want people to find uses for scouts that have nothing to do with combat. They're very good instead at exploring. They have Farsight, which gives them extra vision range. He's mounted, so he has a lot of movement. Yeah, so there you go. So we're going to send him off here. Looks like there's a bunch of stuff around here. Not unguarded, though. So that's alright. Okay. And then this is our army stack. Let's look at our guys. We've seen this guy before. Let's see here. We have a Sun Priest tier 2. They have Mending Awakening, which heals and awakens a target. They have Awaken, which, by the way, if you look here, this is how many action points out of the 3 you start with it'll cost to use this ability. Spirit Blast costs 1. When you do an action, though, that usually ends your that unit's turn. So you can use a Spirit Blast, but if you want to move first, though. Because otherwise, if you attack, you won't get to move again later. Same with Mending Awakening. You can't do this and then Spirit Blast. It's, you know, it's just how it works. But Awaken, see how it has no pips? This is free, which means you can do this and still do something else like move and attack. This will give you a free chance to awaken a unit, which is very cool, very powerful. Now, Dormant. Most of my units have a Dormant ability, which will awaken when they are awakened. In this case, if he becomes awakened, he gains Awakened Radiant Light, which means magic base attacks have a percent chance of inflicting Distracted, and Distracted is very nasty. Any attack against a distracted unit is considered flanked, even if it's from the front. And a flanking attack does 25% more damage. Okay, and I think a flanking attack also stops a retaliation attack. So we have two of these guys, which is great. I think they look amazing. We also have a couple of defenders, looks like, which is actually fantastic because you want to have a nice front line. And they look great as well. And they have shield wall defense mode. They create a zone of control around them that gives bonus defense and resistance to themselves, and 3 defense to anyone near them. And their dormant ability is Shield of Light. If they become awakened, they gain Shield of Light, which is just extra defense and resistance, which is nice because they don't have any resistance. That's a big weakness. And then lastly, we've got Dusk Hunters, which can shoot a bow. And in defense mode, they can shoot a bow, by the way. This icon means if they have 3 action points, they'll use all 3. If they have 2, they'll use 2. And just shoot that many times. They have Seeking Missiles, which is +1 range and bonus accuracy. So awakening these guys is a priority. Okay, so let's see how this combat works. We got this quest to defeat these guys here. They are sitting on pastures. We want to build a farm. So we probably could do that. This is a safe battle. This is probably a safe battle too. Let's go ahead and just fight these guys. Auto combat is awesome. I'm gonna show it off because you can actually watch the replay, see what happened, or retry it. We're gonna retry it because I kind of want to get better at fighting the combat anyway. All right, here we go. Okay, it looks like W, A, S, and D move, and I can rotate the camera with my middle mouse button. Alright, I can't cast spells in the first turn of the game. I don't really want to get within range of this bad boy. We should probably look and see what we're up against here. Razor Net. Deals damage, 20 damage, and immobilizes. Ooh. He's a tier 3 unit. He's not a slouch. He's a tough boy. He's 100 hit points. He has 5 defense, so he takes like 40% less damage from physical. He has 4 resistance, so not that we have a lot of magic, I guess, but still. His status resistance means it'll be harder for us to inflict him with our distracted ability. He is considered slippery. He does not trigger opportunity attacks. He's swift. He ignores terrain, and he regenerates because he's a troll. Ooh. He's a dangerous... we need to get rid of him quick. These little tier 1 dread spiders are not such a big deal. Same with this tier 1 little spirit hawk, although he is cool. He can pass right through stuff. It's crazy. Okay, so their movement is actually a lot lower than his too. So if we stay out of this guy's range immediately, we'll be okay. But he is likely... he's very likely to immobilize somebody. So let's put these guys up front, because there are shields. Now, here's my plan. We're going to put these guys like this. No, like this. Okay. Okay, and then I wonder how you can change your orientation. I want them to face this way here, but I don't know how to do it. Oh, okay. Right click. Right click and drag them in direction. And then we're going to put these guys behind them. Like this. And this guy in the flank over here. A little rainbow effect when he leaves. Because when these guys defend, they provide that bonus to those around them. And melee units offer a zone of control around them. So this guy, even if he had the movement range, he'll just come up here to this guy, but he couldn't come through if he wanted to. Alright, so we will end the turn, and that'll put everybody else who hasn't moved anything into their defensive modes, which for the Spirit, these support guys has this warding ability. Okay, so this guy here, charging is blocked. I wonder why. You can charge this guy and hit like a truck. Let's move up. Wait, we can cast spells now. Friendly units become... Oh yeah, we can actually awaken all these guys. Let's do that. Okay, now they're awakened. And they have their Shield of Light ability. So we can look at them and see they have extra defense now. Base +2, awakened shield +1, shield defense. Yeah, there you go. So now they are going to take only 8 damage from retaliation. And they've pinned him down. And they are going to swing and attack. We got a bleeding. Or is that us bleeding? Oh, we're bleeding. I don't know what bleeding actually does. 8 damage a turn. Oof. That's not great. Okay, we're going to go here and pin these guys down. Okay. When we move our cursor around, we can get an idea of how much our percent chance to hit stuff is going to be. Now these guys can mend and they can awaken for free. I actually want to awaken my hero. Right click does the ability. And they'll still be able to attack. Yeah. And then, oh, we got distracted on him. Now this unit has models in this figure. And as it loses models, it will deal less damage. But this figure has 1 model, so it's always going to hit like a truck. These guys can't awaken because no valid targets are found. Okay. These guys have Seeker Arrow. So if I stand right here, I have a very little chance to hit. But if I go here, I can really put the hurt on something. I can kill these spiders. Let's do that. Yeah, look at that. And then a charging strike here would do a lot of damage. Alright. Oh, that was good. Okay. None of my guys were faithful, so that doesn't do much damage. So let's flank, and then have these guys hit him, and then see if we can. Oh, oops. Let's try and distract him. 44% chance, it said. That resisted. Let's try it again. 44%. Oh, this might kill him. Yeah, that's going to kill him. Yeah. All right. There we go. That was very satisfying. And probably about the same outcome, I guess. But look at that. We've already ranked a couple of our non-hero units up. Thanks to our abilities. Let's see here. So, that was 3 units slain, and it's going to build a farm now. All right. End the turn. First turn. 43 minutes in. Sorry, I was hoping that would be a little faster than that. Oh, here we go. Pact of Vassalage. Following up on a long debate, one of the Sun Priests from Pinnacle approaches you. This is just a unnamed character from my city. Yeah, Pinnacle's my city, right? Yeah. Actually, we can look at it. Oh, that's Pinnacle. Oh, no, this is showing us where this is taking place. That's neat. As you know, my Lord Diviner, not all he works for us. Not all of us had the wisdom to follow your lead to Pinnacle. Some of fearful of magic that the Elder passed on to you. They stayed with this Justicar guy and founded Silurana on their own. That's this place right here. Will you seek out an ally with him and reunite us? Yes, that's what we're trying to do, actually. So, it's a race relations quest. I agree. Yeah. I agree. So now we have to get to a Pact of Vassalage, which is way down here. So, but we'll get there. We'll get there. I'm confident. Alright, so this guy's got full movement. This guy can explore. I think I actually might just set him to auto-explore, which I think he'll do at the end of the turn. What's this? Your mana pickup? Yeah, large mana stash even. Let's just try and clear some of this out. We'll auto-combat some stuff so we can try and see some more of the game before I call it. 48 mana is pretty good. Actually, that's really good. And my hero leveled up, I noticed. So, he's level 2. At level 5, 10, 15, and 20, you can pick a signature spell, which, with your main hero, comes with affinity that will, again, guide you towards things on the Empire screen, which I swear we'll get to at some point. In the meantime, I really like sprints because I've seen people use it, and it's really important to note that not only for one turn does it grant you 8 movement, but it also makes you immune to opportunity attacks. It makes you not stopped by zones of control, so you can I could charge right past a line of shields to smack down an enemy wizard. And it makes you swift, so very, very strong. You only do it once every 3 turns. Especially strong when you consider my charge strike does 20% more damage, only up to 3 hexes, I guess. But the thing that's important about sprint is it's free. It doesn't cost an action, so we're going to grab it, because I think that's a good idea. Alright, that's very cool. Alright, I also need to get back to my domain. I want to clear some of the stuff in my domain I want to clear up. I don't have anything here yet. No, I don't. Okay. Now, next turn we should be able to see the Empire screen. Day 3 dawns. Alright, here we go. Empire development screen. Pop this up here, and we're going to see that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. These are nature, order, astral, shadow, chaos, and materium affinities. We have 6 in order, and so 6 points per turn in order is what we're going to get. That's this big bold line right here. As we earn points in here, we unlock the ability to purchase the ones that are lit up. So I could buy this for 50 Imperium. We have 90, which would give me bonuses for destroying infestations. We haven't seen an infestation yet. That's like a big red bordered evil city, which is not really a city, but rather like a bandit camp or a dragon nest or any number of crazy things. You want to clear those out. You get rewards, and you get rid of them from spawning parties of units to come assault your stuff. So we're not going to get anything from that. I probably won't buy it this game unless we come across an infestation site. Then maybe I will. But this one gives an extra Whispering Stone, which would be useful. And this one will give if we vassalize something, we'll get plus 10 gold from them. These are all building up to more and more powerful things as you get higher levels, all the way to all your units instantly heal and gain a rank, including your heroes. Or you can instantly gain allegiance with all free cities, which is allegiance is like the resource that we're building up to get vassalage with them. Let's see, recruiting a unit during a rally of lieges is cheaper, and the time between the lieges is reduced by 5 turns. There's some really potent stuff here, but then there's cool stuff in all of them. Like Chaos is all about lots of units and building up free resources for raising cities and winning fights. And Shadow has reveal the whole map, or your summon units can be cheaper. Gain the Crypto Blade hero item, things like that. Astral has a lot of magical related stuff, like making spells cheaper after you research something. A random thing will be cheaper to research. Gaining knowledge whenever a unit levels up. Combat casting a spell reduces the cost of other combat spells, and you're casting a lot of combat spells if you're playing in Astral. Materium has a lot of warsmithing and better infrastructure for gold and heavier armor. Heck, you can even craft a powerful piece of armor, the breastplate of the champion. And then let's see, we did Chaos, we did Shadow. I talked about that. What did we miss? Nature has. I don't know much about nature, but nature has a lot of animals, sailing, recovery, regeneration. Looks like you got instantly gain 20 knowledge for every province in your empire's domain. Whoa, that seems like a lot. Gain 5 mana for every resource node. A movement cost for friendly units in your domain is reduced, so it'll be easier to get from city to city. You can build roads. You can build roads, by the way, in this tree, the general tree. Everybody gets all their points go towards the this tree here, so you can learn like seafaring and excavating area down the underground area. You can learn road building. You can have expand your city cap, that sort of thing. So nothing here for us now. And of course, we only have 1 tome. No tomes completed. So now we're on... This guy can move. Let's just go and clear this guy out real quick. This should be a fine, safe battle. I mean, we can watch the replay, which is kind of cool. I like that you can do that. You know, the AI kind of knows its beans here. It really knows how to play the game, and it's good, I think. I think it's a really good idea to observe, you know, early on. Like, if you're not confident with the combats yourself, watch what the AI is doing. Just watch them fight these fights. They're casting the spells, they're doing the stuff, and they'll kind of teach you what you should be doing. They're reorganizing for some reason. I don't know what they're doing over there. They're defending. They're awakening units. Ooh, that guy got a critical hit on us. But he had a bunch of temporary hit points, so he didn't lose any real hit points. Healing in battle usually gives you just temporary hit points, which is like a shield against real damage that sticks with you outside of combat. You really want to heal outside of combat to have your health, you know, permanently recover. Which is why the faster recuperation I mentioned at the beginning of the video is so important. Those guys are kind of screwed. They're just like support units that don't have anyone to support anymore. Here we go. Missed! Missed! Oh, you guys. He probably should have moved him much closer and stood right behind. Oh my god. Grazed. Oop. Yep, they're going to try and pull out. Their morale's very low. We'll go to a slightly faster animation to speed this up a little bit. Healed. Stab. 37 damage. Jeez. Okay. We got some mana from that. I don't know. There's a monster den right here. Oh. Well, maybe I should buy that Empire skill, because if we clear this out, we can get even more. We can get 300 points of. We can make this up to plus 300 points, which this right here is generating 6 alliance from all of the points right there. Allegiance, sorry. So let's do that. Let's just do it just to try it out. Okay. So now we're going to get plus 300 relations for 10 turns with everybody. They'll love us for doing it. You know, I don't think you know if I haven't met him yet. Unless he has a hero there that clears it out. No. Oh, what's this? Sundrin's Call. Ever since you arrived in the Valley of Wonders, that's the name of the realm that you pick for this story mission number 1. Lucid visions have appeared on your mind's eye. Now a purposeful-looking elven lady comes into focus. Salutations. I am Sundrin of House Einok. Oh, this is an actual player. This is an actual AI faction, not a free city. Can we see him on the map where we ran into him? I think that was maybe where we saw their unit. My people have guarded this valley throughout the ages, for better or for worse. Its fate's connected to our own. We've been watching you for some time. Other powerful Gadir have noticed your arrival too. Your essence emanates conflict, but also great potential. Listen to what I have to say. You and your imperialistic humans may avoid meeting your end here. Okay. Alright, explore a structure. Clear the Tower of Destinies. The pyromancer Yaka has broken free and returned to Athla. Her gaze is set on the Valley of Wonders. He is building up an infernal strength and will not tolerate competition, especially from a fledgling mage like you. You must embrace the spark of magic that has awoken inside of you. Seek out the powers of the nearby Towers of Destiny before Yaka does. If you don't prepare, Yaka will burn your settlement to the ground. Sundrin advises you to explore the nearby tower and use his powers to ward off Yaka. You have my gratitude, or you could say no. I love that you could say no, but I won't. Also, we're going to get a ward of mana and a mystery bonus. Okay. This is down here. Tower of Destinies. That's very cool. All right, let's go. Let's clear this out. We're healed up because we've been ending our turn in our domain where we healed quite a bit faster. We'll just blow through this real quick here, close through it, get some rewards. Oh my gosh, a lightning spear, a tier 3 chain strike deals 30 damage, 30% of the damage to another enemy within 2 hexes. That's oh, it grants first strike too. Wand of lightning strikes and 74 food and 74. Let's take that production. And let's see if I can equip this. This, I think, would change us. It would disable our mount. Wait, it would? I wonder why it disables our mount. I didn't, maybe it's a two-handed weapon, that's why it does it. I think Lance is the only thing you can actually keep a mount. Like if you do, yeah, we can have a mount with our Lance. Because it only disables the secondary slot. But this disables the secondary slot and the mount. But, boy, is it cool looking. I think we're just going to go ahead and keep it. Yeah, yep. Okay. Now, we also can grab another province because that extra food was all we needed to pump up into 3. We need a forest, a farm, rather. We can build a farm in here. So this will actually end this quest. You've tamed the land around Pinnacle and invoked a spirit of optimism and adventure in your people. I guess technically, if we could have actually wrapped this quest up on turn 1 since we began the game with a +1 population. That's kind of neat. If you're staging a play that retells the story of how you led the imperialistic humans to safety, from the death of the Elder to the inherited tome, the schism with Syrian Justicar, and eventually the founding of Pinnacle and the Valley of Wonders, the play, in your honor, will conclude with a promise for the future. How do you wish it to end? For 6 turns, we get a bunch of city stability. We should look and see how high that is, because I think we get bonus Imperium. Yeah, we're getting +5, so it must be higher than normal, higher than neutral, by 1 category. Alright, we can get more gold. We can get more food. Ooh, that would give us a population immediately. That's tempting. We get a bunch of draft, which will let us just generate a bunch of... We could recruit like 2 or even 3 units like immediately. Or we could get extra knowledge per turn, and 23 knowledge per turn for 6 turns is a big jump over what we have. I think we're going to do that. Okay, and I want to look at the city's stability. Yeah, we are at 82, so we're in harmony. We're in harmony right now, so we have extra production, draft, and food income. And we can actually just attract a population for 30, and I'm going to do that, because I think that's a good idea. Because I'd like to get more gold, and there's a gold mine in this province that's not occupied. We can just have 15 more gold a turn, so I'm going to do that. We also need to build this. We have a new scout. We'll send them to exploring. We're going to recruit another... I want to get a defender, and maybe a hunter. And I also want to build something new, so we can go with a vendor to get more gold, because we're going to lose some gold to these guys being built. We can build this, but if we had 5 population, it would boost that and make it a lot cheaper, so we'll wait on that. That's boosted, and we want more of that. Okay, that looks good. And we leveled up. And now I can pick up a couple things, like Fighting 2 and Sentinel, because as you learn more skills in warfare, you unlock higher and higher, more powerful things, and the same goes for battle magic and support. But we're going warfare. Sentinel is great though. Gains first strike, but we actually gain first strike from this lightning spear. However, it would also give us 20% extra damage for retaliation attacks and opportunity attacks, which means if you stand there and an enemy comes to attack us, we get to poke them first, and at 20% more damage on top of that. But Fighting 2 would just give us another 10% damage all the time, and Defense would give us more defense and evasion. Archery would be useless for us. I'm going to get Fighting 2. It's boring, but it's going to end up being very strong by the end of the game, I think. Okay, and then we can end the turn. So there we go. Alright, well, we're at the 59-minute mark, and I think that's a great look at, kind of what the first hour of the game would look like if you weren't explaining it to an audience. There's a lot to this. I really love the way this game looks and feels and plays and sounds. The mechanics and the systems in place here are really interesting, and they're also really easy to digest. Like, I don't feel like anything here is complicated per se, although, oh, look at this. Our relationship is crazy. I gotta stop pointing at the screen with my finger. Look at this. We've got, where is it at? Pacification. That's what we got plus 300 because of pacifying that infestation, which honestly was a reward in itself, just to clear it out and get a bunch of goodies for it. But now these guys love us, and we're gonna be rapidly approaching the Pact of Vassalage. We're getting 9 now a turn, so that's excellent. Okay. Alright, anyway, so for real this time, I'm going to end it here. I really appreciate you guys watching, especially if you're still here with me. I hope you enjoyed this look at Age of Wonders 4. I would love, in the comments, if you guys want to see more of this, I'd be happy to maybe start a Let's Play at some point. Maybe not right away. I'm hoping at some point we can play multiplayer. But we'll see how that goes. In the meantime, have a wonderful day, and thanks again for watching.